Hi everyone, I'm Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to join the ends of a couple of chainmail weaves to each other. So you would use this if you were wanting to make a continuous chain necklace that just popped over your head, you didn't need a clasp, or perhaps a stretchy bracelet or a ring for your finger. You would use this technique. Okay, so I'm going to do just a handful of weaves today to show you how to do that, and we'll just get straight into that. Okay, to make a helm flower, you start off with a piece of helm that looks like this, making sure that you've got a single ring encircling the last two pairs on each end. And then what you want to do is you just want to bring those two ends together, and with another large ring you just go through one pair of small rings, the other pair of small rings on the other end, close those up, flip your work over to the other side, and with another large ring go through the same pairs of small rings on the other side and carefully close those up, and you've got a helm flower. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to close a bracelet of half Persian 3-in-1. Now these are using bright aluminium rings and EPDM or rubber rings so that the bracelet has a bit of a stretch. I've got both left leaning and right leaning half Persian 3-in-1. So this one is left leaning, which you can tell because the rings are leaning to the left side. These rings here, you can see they're leaning to the left side. This one is right leaning. You can see that the BA rings and everything are leaning to the right hand. Okay, so we'll start with the left leaning first. Okay, so with the half Persian 3-in-1 left leaning, you've got this one dangly ring here. What we're going to do, I'm going to use this red ring just to show you. Make sure you put that ring around the eye of the two last rings there, and then carefully bringing your work around. We want this metal ring to stay in pattern, and it has to go underneath this red one here, but we also want it to go through the rubber ring. Okay, so you just go up through the rubber ring, just like that, and close. Now as you can see, it's not quite done yet. We still need to attach this rubber ring here to our red ring here, and you can see that we need to keep the stacking the same. So we want the red ring to be on top of this one, but we want this rubber ring to be on top of this one here. So all we need to do is open this ring up and then carefully go through the front of our loose rubber ring here and close that up. Okay, and there you go. It's all closed. Now to do the same with our right leaning, we take an open ring. This one I find it's a little bit easier to go into the concave section rather than the convex section. And we go straight through the eye of this one here and bringing this around very carefully We keeping our metal rings in the same pattern, that is stacking it underneath. We come up underneath that metal ring, but we snag that first rubber ring there. Close that up. Now again, we're not completely finished here. We can, making sure we've got our metal rings stacked properly and our rubber rings stacked properly. We can see that we still need to put a ring through this rubber one here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our red one on this side, and we're very carefully going to go through that rubber ring just there. Close it up, and there you go. It's all closed up. Okay, I'm going to show you how to close half Persian 4-in-1 on itself. Now this is a little tricky. There are a few steps involved, so just watch carefully and pause when you need to, and I'm sure you'll get there eventually. Okay, so I've just made this out of 14 gauge EWG 1.6mm diameter wire. Both ring sizes in the BA and the EPDM, or the stretchy rings, is 5/16, which is 7.94mm ID. Okay, so you want to have a piece of half Persian 4-in-1 completed, both with loose rings on either end. So this is the end, our working end. So that's the end we want to hold now in our left hand, and we want to bring the beginning of our bracelet around. So we want the metal rings to be the ones that are on the bottom, and we've got these two loose rubber rings here. Now we do need to keep the stacking in place, so you can see how all these rings are stacking up behind each other. We want to keep that stacking in place as we join them. So our first ring is going to go through the eye that is formed by the two loose rubber rings being stacked together, and then it's going to come around and it's going to go through the next two rubber rings. So show you what that looks like in the bracelet. So we bring it up through both of those loose rubber rings, making sure that we've got the stacking correct. So I'll just put that into place. Oops, there we go. All right, so make sure you've got that stacking correct, that they're up behind each other. We bring this up through the eye, and then we bring it through the eye that's formed by the next two rubber rings in the bracelet. Okay, and we close that ring up. Okay, and that's what it looks like at this stage. Now our next ring needs to go through this eye here. So you can see this bright aluminium ring here. We want the next ring to go through the same eye that it's going through. So it comes straight up here, and then it comes around and it goes through the eye that's formed by the next two rubber rings in the bracelet. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like using the rings. So up through the eye there, same eye that the bright aluminium ring is already through, and we go through the eye that's formed by the next two rubber rings in the bracelet, and we close those up. Okay, so this is looking better, but it's still not quite right. You can see that there's a metal ring still missing. Now this one is a lot trickier to place. We want this one to go through these two rubber rings that are here, that are loose, and we also need to for it to go up behind and up behind through these 2 rubber rings here underneath. So I'll try and show you how that looks. So I'm going to go through the 2 rubber rings here at the front, and I'm going to swing my work around, and we're looking for, you can see here that a aluminium ring has gone through this rubber ring, but there's no rubber ring going down through here. Sorry, no aluminium ring going down through here. This is where we want to continue feeding our ring through. So we take it down into that eye there. Okay, making sure it comes out underneath the metal ring that's already in place. And we close that up. Okay, and there you go. That's it. You can see all the stackings in place. All the rings have got, rubber rings have got metal rings going through them. There's no loose rings there at all. Okay, thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really hope that this tutorial was of help to you and it wasn't too confusing. If you do have any questions or comments about it, then please feel free to leave it in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, in the description tab below this video, I've got the links to all our social media pages. So if you want to share what you've done today, you know, tag us on Instagram or pop it up on our Facebook wall. That would be absolutely fabulous. We'd love to see what you guys are up to. Also down there in the description are the links to our store, our online store that stocks all the rings and tools that we used today in this video. So pop along there and have a look, and I'm sure you'll find something that you're interested in. If you did enjoy this free tutorial and you'd like to support us in creating more of these types of tutorials for you, then, you know, give us a thumbs up, comment, share, or if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Every little bit of interaction that you guys have with us in our videos helps and enables us to make some more of these free videos in the future. Alright, so until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!